Today on Travelogue, we continue our riparian journey on the fertile terrain of Shunde, the cradle of Cantonese cuisine. But it's not all about food. There's kung fu, fabrics and festivities, plus more. Join us for this fourth episode of 10 along southern China's Pearl River. The Pearl River, known in Chinese as the Zhujiang, with its eastern, western and northern tributaries, is actually a vast river system, the third longest river in China, and the second largest by volume. Just a little way inland from its mouth lies the district of Shunde.
G'day ladies and gents. Well, isn't there just so much rustic beauty out here? You know, this is where we're going to continue our Pearl River journey, and we're in a place called Shunde in Guangdong province. It's a place that's not only fed by one or two branches of the Pearl River, but a whole dense network of waterways. Do you know it's also heaven here? Well, if you like a bit of revelry, who doesn't? There's the Dragon Boat Festival. And if you're a bit of a food fan, it's also heaven. And if you're a fan of Bruce Lee, well, you got it. This is where you need to be. My name's Zhui. Catch you on Travelogue.
Shunde is a district of Foshan City, but is administered directly by the Guangdong provincial government. Once a prosperous agricultural county, today it's up there amongst the nation's most affluent industrial areas. It's a modern manufacturing boomtown, known especially for producing furniture and electrical appliances. And it's home to Fortune Global 500 companies. But venture out a little from downtown Shunde, and you'll be wrapped by its raw and rustic allure, and its sundry age-old agricultural conventions. It truly is a watery utopia out here.
桑基鱼塘呢是长江三角洲和珠江三角洲用的比较多的一个养鱼的模式，尤其在我们顺德，是因为我们这里地少人多，所以就利用基上就种桑，桑叶就喂蚕，蚕的粪便就养鱼，鱼的粪便就来育塘，塘泥再搬上基面再育桑，这样一种循环的生态模式。
Mulberry Dyke fish ponds, known as Sangji Yutang in Mandarin, are a sustainable combination of sericulture, or silk farming, and pisciculture, or fish farming. Man-made ecosystems kind of accidentally created hundreds of years ago. Originally, the delta was a waterlogged area prone to flooding, so farmers dug and moved the soil, piling it up into embankments. Conveniently, crops could be planted on them, and the excavated parts were ideal for raising fish. And that's what they're very good at in Shunde. I'm watching an ancient aquaculture practice, the hand-catching of fish. It takes time, a lot of teamwork, and a ton of toughness. I can't imagine slogging away out here on a scorching summer's day, or being almost completely submerged in the water during winter. And these scaly, slippery brutes aren't always on the best behavior.
他们会挑一些大概3斤半到4斤符合上市标准的那种重量的鱼，他们才把它抓到桶里面去。
Of course, these blokes make it look like a walk in the park.
他们很厉害的，他们的手就像称一样，抓一下就知道大概有多重，而且一只手就可以把鱼放到桶里面去。
你觉得我下去抓可以吗？
那肯定，确实有点难度。如果他跳上来撞到你的话，可能你的脸会马上淤青。
It would have to be a life or death situation to get me in there. Meantime, I'll just watch uselessly from dry land.
Gosh, it's just such brutally physical work. You know, some of them, I mean, they don't really look that young either. They're 50, 60 years old, aren't they? 就应该有50、60岁了吧？
现在年轻人都不肯再干这种体力活了，确实很辛苦的。再过10年、8年以后，这种人工的捕捞方式可能就不再常见了。
To me, rural Shunde looks like a gorgeously plush patchwork quilt. On one panel, a peculiar scene unfolds. These are products of the Mulberry Dyke fish ponds, highly prized xiangyunsha.
传统的工艺都是靠天吃饭，必须要有大太阳才可以。
大太阳，所以阴天都不可以。
阴天不行。对，现在这个传统工艺暂时来说还是没办法用机器可以代替。
现在就可以摸了。
可以了，正反两面不同的颜色。
Beautiful. It feels like something in between leather and paper, I think. It's kind of crazy to think that this is going to be turned into some of the most exquisite silk products.
Xiangyunsha, literally translated as fragrant cloud fabric, is organic handmade silk clothing made using half a millennium-old techniques, like this dyeing process.
这个叫鼠粮，是香云纱制作的是唯一一种天然染料，有点黏黏的感觉，染出来的颜色是有点暗红色。
But what about the shade of black we saw? Well, let these gentlemen show you.
这道工序我们叫过河泥。
过河泥。
对。
It looks and sounds like fun, slathering on a thick layer of mud with moss. That said, I probably wouldn't last half a minute, let alone do it for hours. At least there are no chemicals involved. It's all natural ingredients.
这个河泥是一种特别的河泥吗？
特别的，只有我们是珠三角的，特别是南滩顺的地方的，那个河泥才适合的。
哦，为什么？
主要取决于它那个含铁量，如果偏高，它会太黑色了；如果是太低的话呢，它就上不了颜色。
Next step, the fabric goes in for the rinse cycle.
Gosh, it really isn't an easy task, is it? I mean, it's absolutely sweltering out here, but these guys probably have arms and abs of steel. Anyway, the Pearl River really does feed into the lives of the locals. I mean, here in this process it provides the mud and the water which to wash it with. I am this close to diving in right now, but I guess it wouldn't be very nice for them as they're toiling away.
Jiangyunsha is manufactured only in Shunde, and the technique is recognized as part of the nation's intangible cultural heritage. The methods used are sustainable and have basically remained unchanged for centuries. It's labor-intensive indeed, but neither workers nor environment are being exploited, and the quality of the merchandise is excellent. The textiles are soft and supposedly wrinkle-resistant and durable, and the designs that can be found here are classic and elegant. Come on, every girl needs one of these in their wardrobe, right?
Do you see me wearing something as feminine as chifa? Well, just you wait. So, what do you reckon? Feeling slightly uncomfortable in this, but yeah, I'm wearing something, right? I know I didn't take my pants off, but it's so light and delicate that I feel like I might as well be naked. Anyways, there you go, that's enough.
Shunde is well known for its sustainable farming and silk fabrics, but I'd say it's best known for its food. So, of course, here I am at the Yunju restaurant, making friends with the owner. He's the mastermind behind the outdoor green space, and while he shows me around, he invites me to lunch. But first, an open-air demonstration showcasing a chef's expertise, and the main ingredient, freshly caught from the mulberry dyke fish ponds of Shunde. The chef's knife skills are dangerously sharp. Apparently, he's doing everything slow-mo, so our brains can register what's happening. So many succulent and boneless slices. This would have taken me all day, and I'd probably leave a finger in there, which would make it much less mouth-watering. Not that I'm a huge fan of fish head. Nonetheless, I'm impressed.
一間10斤重嘅魚已經係全部搞好晒啦，呢啲係廢料咁食得嘅。啲魚片咧就到時用清水一放一浸就 OK 㗎啦。咁呢啲魚骨咧就可以煎焗或者椒鹽，啲魚豆咧就蒸，嗰啲魚腸咧就煎蛋，嗰啲要你煲咗。
It's really just absolutely no waste, is it? I should show you what's in the throwaway box. It's kind of just some fins and a bit of guts and a whole lot of fish juice. Looking forward to this.
Cantonese cuisine is one of the 8 culinary traditions of China, and the best known internationally due to the large number of Guangdong immigrants living overseas. Dishes are usually mild and slightly sweet, with an emphasis on preserving the original flavour of the ingredients. There's nothing to hide when they're so fresh and organic, right?
滾水，去水嗰時候咧就有講究嘅。嗱，咁我哋大概20秒左右到。
I can't really cook, but I'm pretty sure I can count, so I should be alright.
嚟，我哋先嚇。
Oh, that's so good. You know, it just falls apart in my mouth.
It's a banquet, and he insists that I try every single dish.
嗱，其他嗰啲就係魚腸啦。你炸咗佢啦，
Oh, that's a good piece.
这个煎鱼骨挺好吃的，好香啊，
好香。And the people of Shunde are a really resourceful bunch, and they're really not scared of racking their brains to find the most efficient and effective way of doing things. And, you know, just look at the mulberry fish ponds, for example. It's just very sustainable. And also using mud to create these splendid fabrics. And last of all, you know, utilizing every single bit of the fish that's edible and making all these great dishes out of them. It's incredible. And I guess I really want to thank the Shunde people for sharing this all with me.
Coming up next, why Shunde is truly a paradise. A garden paradise, a gastronomic paradise, and yes, believe me, it's actually called Bruce Lee Paradise. Shunde may be located in the emerging megalopolis of the Pearl River Delta with its rising GDP and a rising grey skyline, but it hasn't forgotten harmony with nature and tradition. This is Qinghui Garden, originally built towards the end of the Ming Dynasty, some 400 years ago. Its name translates as Garden of Pure Splendor, and it's one of the 4 great gardens of Guangdong. Personally, I think great is an understatement.
Sometimes the connection between Shunde and water is pretty obvious, but other times you have to look a little bit closer. For example, these semi-transparent areas of the window, they are actually made from oyster shells which come from the water. And they were put there in the Qing Dynasty. Very ingenious and quite pretty too, hey?
On the topic of windows, these are so-called Manchu windows, fashionable amongst the Guangdong elite during the Manchurian-ruled Qing, China's last imperial dynasty. Typically, they're wooden framed and made of imported stained glass with oriental depictions. This sort of east-west fusion is nothing too out of the ordinary in southern China. It's often obvious in the architecture, like these Qilou buildings in Shunde's town centre. Historically, maritime trade was one of the main reasons behind this region's economic success, and cultural exchange was part and parcel of it. Anyway, I'm on a mission to try possibly the most legendary of Shunde's gastronomic inventions, shuangpinai, or double-skin milk, probably more appetizingly translated as double-layer steamed milk custard. The most common shuangpinai recipe requires buffalo milk, egg whites and white sugar. The first double skin is formed when the boiled milk cools, and the second when the cooked custard cools. Dairy is extremely rare in Chinese cuisine, shuangpinai being a famous exception. Some say it was created during the Qing Dynasty by a water buffalo herder experimenting with how to store milk. Today, it's a super popular snack, even in Macau and Hong Kong, to which you can add all sorts of toppings.
好吃吗？
好吃，好吃。Oh yeah. The texture is a little bit like panna cotta, and very sweet, but not too sweet. So it's a little bit more liquefied.
And now for my second bowl. I'm not surprised why shuangpinai is a huge hit here, where anyone craving a hot or cold milky snack can get some slurpy satiation. Next, still on the essential subject of food, but more serious. We're not the only camera crew here, and these guys are 4 of Shunde's best chefs, so we'd all better pay attention. It's a local reality cooking show, where each master chef takes a bunch of apprentices under his wing, and they learn all about Shunde fare. Today, we have celebrity Shunde chef He Jinbiao teaching us a thing or two. It's said that many of the best chefs in China come from Guangdong, and the best Cantonese chefs come from Shunde. So really, this is a hands-on honor.
Just happily massaging away at the chicken breast. Oh. This is the first time I'm putting my hand inside a chicken. I'm not the most experienced cook. Actually, I'm quite a disaster, so I don't know if he should have given this to me. Attention that this chicken is getting, isn't it?
It's dish number 1, bai chia ji, or Cantonese poached chicken.
45 minutes. See you later.
They say that in the capable hands of a Shunde chef, the most mundane ingredients can be transformed into dishes fit for an emperor. Shunde cuisine seeks a delicate balance between taste and texture, and employs complex techniques that can only be handed down by these culinary maestros.
I love how it's just absolute chaos in here.
And I love how anyone with any level of experience, no matter how old for example, can sign up.
为什么你来这里学？
退咗休想學煮兩味喺後生食下。
哦，
你们都是顺德人，是在本地土产的，对顺德的对西的比较感兴趣，对西的要求比较高，所以呢自己做的方法其中没有跟师傅学的正宗，所以的话是还是想感受一下怎么学到这个精妙在哪里。
The aromas in this classroom are incredible, as is the whole ambience. I can taste the passion and feel a bond over shared fascination. Then, like obedient students, we all eagerly crowd up the front to see Chef He unveil his steamed chicken, chop it and serve it. Doesn't it look tasty in all its glistening glory? Then, the innovative East-West fusion dish, and the menu item I'm most looking forward to, Shunde-style foie gras, served on a slice of cucumber and accompanied by oysters. Finally, it's our turn to do the same.
Time has come. I'm so excited.
可以沾那个脆酱。
原味，基本是原味。
I've got like oyster juice all over my face now, but truth for the gods, it's amazing. How good. Moment of truth.
很美味。
Taste of Shunde.
From masters of cuisine to masters of kung fu. Know him?
It's good old Brucey. Thought he could hide from me.
Aha! If my eyes don't deceive me, this little alleyway is called Bruce Lee Lane.
Well, Bruce Lee never actually lived here, but the Shunde residents are still really proud of the fact that it's his ancestral home. His father lived here, and I guess that's why it's still very well preserved, and people, you know, fans of Bruce Lee, can come here on a pilgrimage.
It's a typical southern Chinese folk residence, humble and simply furnished. It was built by Lee's grandfather, and his father, a Hong Kong opera singer and actor, grew up here. And just around the corner, a bunch of kids practicing Kung Fu at Bruce Lee Paradise, a theme park integrating natural scenery with all things Bruce Lee. This is Wing Chun, the world's most popular form of southern Chinese martial art. It's a simple and efficient mode of self-defense that specializes in close-range combat. Here, it's developed from a need to protect one's fortunes, but that's no longer the main reason it's practiced.
对不对啊？那你们为什么要学泳姿？
因为兴趣啊，
兴趣啊。
对呀，
人家怎么样打我们都打不到，
可以很近都可以。
很近都可以。
Yeah, these movements are really explosive, aren't they? All right, 那你可以教我一点防守的动作吗？
没问题，没问题。简单一点的，来，一走我就可以偷哦，打他们。
OK，
比较简单，拍手就上去了。
拍手上去。
对对，我来了。
So those 3 punches I should learn as self-defense.
哎，我快点打，拍吧，往下拍，上面打我头，对，不要真打哦。
It's like an old kung fu movie, but real life. Nah, just some masters who've kindly offered to show us some forms. Notable practitioners of Wing Chun include Donnie Yen and Jackie Chan. But I bet these guys could take them on. And maybe even the legend of Bruce Lee, too. Coming up next, I discover why this Shunde village is hands down the best place in the universe to celebrate Dragon Boat Festival, with its rowdy crowds, rituals and conventions. It's the 5th day of the 5th month, according to the lunar calendar, which means it's festival time. Not just in Shunde, but all across China. Although, if there was one place to celebrate, it'd be here. Today, it's Double Fifth Festival, also known as Duanwu, or, this may sound more familiar, Dragon Boat Festival. And in this village, Longyan, meaning Dragon's Eye, it's a really, really, really big deal.
Nuts. I have never seen anything like this before, and just being here, you know, in and amongst all the action, and I feel like the whole of Guangdong province has just come to Shunde to, you know, really take part in these shenanigans, and it's a perfect spring day for it as well. The weather is, I mean, it could be a little cooler, but anyway, I'm just gonna keep wandering around and have a nice adventure right here.
I always thought that dragon boat racing was kind of like Olympic rowing events, except the boat had, well, a dragon head. Turns out there's a whole ritual surrounding it. The most widely accepted story about the 2,000-year-old festival's origin is that it commemorates the death of poet and minister Zhui of the ancient state of Chu. When the king decided to ally with the increasingly powerful state of Qin, Zhui was accused of opposing the move and exiled. 28 years later, Qin captured the Chu capital, and the despairing patriot drowned himself in the river. The local people, who greatly admired him, raced out in their boats to try and save him, but never found the body. A sad tale, but today, a colourful carnival.
This is just insane. You know, what I'm seeing in front of me are a whole bunch of dragon boat races, and they're lining up to carry out an ancient ritual that's meant to bring the dragon to life and give it more strength to compete in the races. And to me, this is really something, because it's not often that I get to see something like this. In fact, I've never really celebrated Dragon Boat Festival before. So, you know, the incredible energy and seeing all these age-old customs is really, I mean, I don't really have words. Just wow.
So, what is this ancient ritual? Well, do you remember the name of this village? Dragon's Eye. Here, in this teeny tiny temple, an elder has a task of painting an eye on each and every boat, and there are more than 120 today. The atmosphere in this dust and sweat-filled room is unbelievably invigorating, and to me, this whole thing is positively worth the claustrophobia. And the procession doesn't just end there and then.
So what we have here is one of the dragon heads, and after they paint the eyes, they have to come to this ancestral hall and they do a lap just for good luck. And check this out. There are so many animal offerings here. Don't worry, they won't go to waste though. They're all going to be here later.
The scale of this festival is almost out of this world. The pork was donated by locals, and as per custom, couples or families who had a child this year are entitled to a slab. Meantime, the competitors take a long route, stopping by every shrine in the village for a blessing and receive red packets of money. Of course, it wouldn't be a festival without food. And Come on, it's Shunde, so you wouldn't expect anything less than a feast.
最多嘅時候就喺1880度。係1,000。
Those numbers are mind-boggling to me. I mean, I can barely cook for two, and purely for survival. So he's looking after the lunch spread for the general community, while elsewhere in the village, it's more a kinfolk kind of thing.
所以今日嘅活動咧，就係我哋配合咗順德嘅梁氏宗親聯誼會，還有廣東同埋廣西各個市嘅一啲梁氏宗親同你歡聚一堂。
全部都是梁家的是吗？
梁家和梁家的朋友。
哦，梁家的朋友都有。
反正我们都是全世界，大家团结起来嘛。
That's so true. Family, fun, festivities, food. That pretty much ticks all the boxes for me.
Oh, and friends too, duh. Plus, random foreign strangers like me. After lunch, it's time for what the thousands of spectators pressed to the fences along the riverbank have been waiting for. There's a palpable, pulsating sort of anticipation in the air. But the best thing is that, despite it being a contest, the competitors are evidently having a blast during warm-up. The standard number of crew on a boat is 22, comprising 20 paddlers, one drummer at the bow facing the paddlers, and one steerer standing at the back of the boat. The drummer's role is both tactical and ceremonial, leading the strokes with a rhythmic beat. The steerer directs the boat with an oar that acts like a rudder. Dragon boats rigged with all the decorative regalia were traditionally made in this Pearl River Delta region out of teak wood. Though a 2 millennia old custom in China, dragon boat racing has become a modern international sport since 1976 in Hong Kong. Sometime later, the splashes subside into ripples again. It's almost as if nothing happened here today, but my heart is still hammering with the drums and firecrackers.
Finally, a bit of peace and quiet after all that excitement. Now, we got a pretty good taste of Shunde, didn't we? A nice little bite of heaven in this place that's crisscrossed by so much of the waterways of the Pearl River. And a lot of the history and culture that we've witnessed here has seemed to stem from the abundance of water, you know, from the mulberry fish ponds to also Wing Chun Kung Fu, and now, of course, the Dragon Boat Festival. And luckily for you, there's plenty more of it where it came from. So make sure you tune in to the rest of our Pearl River series on Travelogue. My name's Zhui, and I'll see you again soon.